battle fight on the landing ground.
Thank you for joining us. You are listening to A Radio, and this is the Morning Moment. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. By highlighting this piece, maybe we should be asking, when is enough enough? This is from the Gatestone Institute. When do we stop turning a blind eye, turning our backs on these barbaric practices? These people, I hate to tell you this, are now amongst us in the West. And when will they start pushing for this approach here? Now, I know what you're all saying. Ridiculous. You really think so? There were a lot of things that were ridiculous only a few years ago. I'll give you one current one. Communists actually openly running for the US Congress. That is a classic example of the Overton window. Here's part of the piece. Links on my site. In her memoirs, Aisha Bibi wonders whether being a Christian in Pakistan today is not just a failing or a mark against you, but actually a crime. Her question is finally about to be answered by Pakistan's Supreme Court. It's a contradiction in terms. Because the word of a Christian is not valid against the word of a Muslim. Blasphemy accusations by Muslims against Christians are common and routinely result in imprisonment, beating and even murder of Christians, as when 1,200 Muslims deliberately burned a young Christian couple to death in 2014 for allegedly insulting Islam. I'm just going to read that piece again because it's so graphically important. Because the word of a Christian is not valid against the word of a Muslim, blasphemy accusations by Muslims against Christians are common and routinely result in the imprisonment, beating, and even murder of Christians, as when 1,200 Muslims deliberately burned a young Christian couple to death in 2014 for allegedly insulting Islam. Let that sink in for a minute. The Malvis clerics, that is, want her dead. They have announced a monetary prize for anyone who kills Aisha. They have declared that if the court acquits her, they will ensure the death sentence stands. Let that sink in for a moment. Aisha Bibi's husband, Ashkith Mashif, whatever his name is, I apologise, I don't speak that language, is arguably why Pakistani authorities continue to delay issuing a final verdict to give Bibi time to die naturally in prison, as other Christians have under mysterious circumstances, instead of placating the world but angering Islamists by releasing her, or placating Islamists by horrifying the world by executing her. The Pakistani judicial system has abandoned Bibi to a death trap of a prison cell for a decade, where wretched conditions, severe malnutrition, unattended illnesses, psychological abuse, and beatings should have killed her, as they have many others before. This is Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, the real Pakistan. And these people are coming to the West to try and invoke their way of life on us. We don't need that, and we don't need them. We don't need that attitude in our country. These people are barbarians, and anybody who says they're not barbarians are barbarians themselves. This is no way to carry on in a civilized society. The article will continue, but I'm not going to read any more. I just want your thoughts. We should have nothing to do with that country. Nothing. An addendum to this story is that now that a verdict of not guilty has been rendered, she has now got a constant threat of death over her head from that ever-loving religion of peace. You can find more at aradio.wordpress.com, where you can find links to us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Gab and email. You can now find us on Spotify. Just go to the podcast section and type Canadian Politics with a Twist and you'll find us. We are continuing to reach out to you, so please pass on the links. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. You can listen to all my morning moments at Spreaker.com under A Radio, that's EHRADIO. ARADIO, A Radio, and please click on the like button. And you can find all my podcasts and morning moments at aradio.wordpress.com and click on the Morning Moments tab.